sax. And I tell them exactly what I'm going to tell you. I ain't telling you. You ain't going to find out from me, because Stevie V put a lot of time into learning how to be a producer, and it was his production which basically enticed Dave Morales to remix this track, and was subsequently a hit. But irregardless of whether it's a real sax or a sample sax, doesn't really matter. It's another hook. So you've got lyric hooks. I have no excuse, I just want you to use me. You've got the chorus, the melodic hook. You've got the hook of it being controversial. Now you've got a saxophone hook. This is Hook City. Now, in the original version, this saxophone hook was right at the beginning. So to go back to my original question, does it grab my attention right from the beginning? This particular version is not as instant as the one where I think they had the saxophone hook at the beginning. But if there were that version, it would work. It would, I don't know, you know what I mean. So, onwards and upwards. She once had pride, but now it's all behind. She wants to get rich quick. So what's she going to do to get rich quick? You see, all posing questions. You've got to imagine this is the first time that you've heard this. What is she going to do? Why does she want to get rich quick? How is she going to get rich quick? Who is she? What's her favourite colour? Why does she keep following me? Bingo! There you go. That was the line that caused a lot of the controversy, and ultimately didn't get played on some radio stations. It's not talking overtly about sex. It's not prostitution per se, but it's talking about people who have money and use it can be very sexy. You'll often see really ugly-looking blokes with beautiful women purely because they have money, and vice versa. Money is very, very sexy, and if you use it, you can enhance your life with it, which is why part of the reason why this song was a hit. In the late 80s, there was a TV commercial and it went something like, in America, that when money talks, everything walks. So by the time this came out, and I think AC/DC or Steven Tyler did a song called Money Talks as well, this expression was well known. So the title, again, there's another hook. Get a good title in, Dirty Cash Money Talks. Everyone's familiar with that expression, money talks. It's another hook, another thing that draws people to the song, makes them want to listen to it before they've even heard it. Money talks, money talks, dirty cash, I want you, dirty. Does anyone know what this dance was called? Because I can't remember. Money talks, money talks, dirty cash, I want you, dirty cash, I need you. Back with the saxophone break, another hook. Keep repeating the hooks over and over and over again. In a way, it's a kind of like brainwashing. You keep banging and banging and banging and banging these hooks. So where's it going to go now? Could go back to the verse. Probably sounds as if it's going to be a breakdown. That's exactly what happens. Not a nervous breakdown, although there were a few of them. It's going to break down, and happens very commonly in dance music, just to give a little bit of break from the main kind of like body of the song. Kind of like strips it down, takes a lot of the instruments out, strips it down to very sort of basic drum, bass, maybe just basic instruments. Kind of gives people a chance to kind of draw their breath. So where did we go from here? We could have gone back to the verse, we could have gone to the chorus, but what Steve did was actually very clever. At that time in late 80s, 1990s, the two of the most popular musics in America were hip-hop or rap and house music. House music started in Chicago, gravitated to London, where it became massive. So these two disparate tribes never really kind of met, but this is what happened. We threw this in. Here's a break.
I'm dirty cash, the one that you asked for. I want to buy the rich and the poor. More and more, just never rejected. You're the junkie, and I inject it in your bloodstream. It's like a bad dream. Money's the
you go. We throw a rap in. You've got to remember, this time it's very, very unusual to hear rap or hip-hop in a dance song. So again, it was another hook. By using that rap in a place where a tempo that you wouldn't generally, because usually hip-hop was a lot slower than, I think this is like 122 beats per minute, I'm not sure. But hip-hop is generally a lot kind of slower. You wouldn't, as a matter of course, throw a piece of rap here. So we did, and again, it was another hook. Then this happens.
You're the junkie, and I ain't it. Eat your bloodstream, it's like a battery. Money's the fiend, do you know what I mean?
Again, could have gone back to the chorus, could have gone back to the last verse, but what Steve does is building tension. Build tension and keep interest, maintain interest by throwing a female rap in there. Who would have thought it? Imagine that. We've got a male rap. You would expect that male rap, if you're going to continue with the rap, to continue. Instead, Steve throws a female rap in, and it just brings something else in. That's the thing about music, writing songs. It's not good enough now these days just to be a songwriter. You have to be a producer as well. You have to send a really high quality demo off to people, the producer, publishers, artists, etc. And you have to have the arrangement. So you have to be an arranger as well as a songwriter. So Steve's building tension, building, which gets resolved, and then the song basically goes back to the beginning. When you have a controversial or something important that you want to say, something political or really romantic or something that's, that you really want people to notice, a little trick is you can go back to the original verse. So we go back to the original verse, which, remember, the first lyrics were, "I've no excuse, I just want you to use me, take me and abuse me." Very, very controversial. And now we've gone back to it though. So there you go. Now we're on the outro where we've got the saxophone break coming up. We've got the chorus. Again, hooks, all the way through, all the way out. So what you need to ask yourself when you're writing songs is basically these questions. Does the song, does the opening of the song engage and pull the listener in? Does it flow well? Does it maintain your interest all the way through? Are the hooks in the right places? Are there enough hooks? Are there too many hooks? In my book, you can't have too many. Are they repeated throughout the song? Does the verse support the chorus? Does the verse help establish meaning within the chorus? Do the verse and the chorus complement each other? Are they memorable? Do they add to the hooks that you already have? Does the music emotionally support the lyrics? And that's a big thing. You've got to really think about that. Think about if you have a major scale as a chorus, a major chord progression, are you going to have really kind of sad lyrics underneath that? Sometimes that can work. The thing about music is, if it sounds right, it is right. Okay, so there aren't any rules per se. These are just food for thought. So if I was going to evaluate this song, other questions I'd ask for, what about the tempo? Does the tempo work? Another hook that you can do with tempos is to slow stuff down, slow it up. Maybe the next video I'll put up, I'll look at Take On Me by Aha, because they do a really, really clever thing of actually slowing the third chorus, I think it is. I'll be gone. They actually slow that down, and you just don't expect it. So it's throwing things in when people don't expect them. Musical hooks, get as many musical hooks in there. And lastly, is the melody memorable?